This is PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube.
Our top stories. Tinubu proposes visa waiver to deepen Nigeria-Caribbean ties. And the People's Democratic Party says its NEC meeting ends in unity. President Tinubu is pushing for stronger Africa-Caribbean ties, proposing a visa waiver for diplomats from Eastern Caribbean nations during a landmark visit to Saint Lucia, aiming to boost cultural exchange, trade and bilateral cooperation. Let's join Marianne for the full scoop.
Nigerian's President Bola Tinubu used his state visit to Saint Lucia to signal a new era of cooperation with the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS. Addressing a point session at Saint Lucia Senate and House of Assembly, he announced Nigerians' willingness to explore a visa waiver arrangement for holders of diplomatic and official passports from the OECS member countries. The OECS, comprising of Antigua and Barbuda, Dominican, Grenadian, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, Saint Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, stands to benefit for smoother official travel and deeper international links. Tinubu emphasized that beyond economic ties, we must encourage more frequent visits between our people, fostering cultural and human exchange that celebrates shared heritage. He urged the OECS government to reciprocate with similar visa privilege for Nigerian envoys, describing the move as a concrete step towards stronger bilateral cooperation. The proposal followed a broader agenda announced during his visit, establishing formal diplomatic relations with Saint Lucia, developing Nigerians Technical Aid Corps (NTAC) to support health, education, agriculture, and other technical services on the island. Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Toga echoed the president's vision, noting that official ties would create a platform of collaboration in trade, climate resilience, investment, and cultural exchange. The initiative is poised to become a model for African-Caribbean partnership, aligning Nigerians' African-first outlook with a commitment of global solidarity and mutual development. Marianne Awoya, PS News.
Nigeria is doubling down on local content in its oil and gas sector. At the NOG Energy Week in Abuja, the NCDMB unveiled bold steps to enforce the new Nigeria First policy aimed at boosting local production, cutting imports and empowering indigenous contractors. Joycelyn got all the details on this report.
The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, has pledged full support for the federal government's new Nigeria's First policy, a bold move aimed at reducing Nigeria's dependence on imports and promoting locally made goods and services in the oil and gas sector. Speaking at the NOG Energy Week in Abuja, NCDMB Executive Secretary Engineer Felix Omashola Ogbe described the policy as a strategic extension of the board's core mission, building local capacity across the energy value chain from exploration and production to manufacturing and services. Ogbe stressed that energy sufficiency is not just about availability, but about resilience, sustainability, and protecting national sovereignty. He said the new directive builds on existing policies like the NOGICD Act of 2010 and recent presidential executive orders, all aligned with President Tinubu's 8-point agenda. Under the Nigeria First rule, no foreign goods or services will be procured if local alternatives are available and meet industry standards. The NCDMB is already taking action by drafting of Nigeria First procurement policy, integrating it into internal systems and applying it to compliance and certification reviews. To further support local players, Ogbe announced 2 major studies to assess the capabilities of Nigerian service providers and identify domestically produced consumables used in the oil and gas sector. In a related move, the board has also revamped its 50 billion naira community contractors financing scheme, part of the Nigerian Content Intervention Fund. Originally launched in 2018, the fund had struggled until now. According to Dr. Obinna Ezeobi, NCDMB's General Manager of Corporate Communications, the renewed push reflects the Executive Secretary's commitment to grassroots empowerment and deepening community participation in Nigeria's energy future. Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada, PS News.
Tensions are rising in Abuja as students take to the streets protesting government inaction over a 100-day teachers' strike and growing food insecurity. Once again, Joycelyn takes us through the details.
As the strike by primary school teachers in the Federal Capital Territory enters its 100th day, pressure is mounting on the federal government to act. Since March 24th, over 400 public schools across Abuja's 6 area councils have been shut, following a breakdown in the implementation of a 70,000 naira minimum wage agreement signed in December 2024. The shutdown has left thousands of pupils, mainly from low-income families, stranded at home or learning in crumbling classrooms. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has now announced a mass protest for Wednesday, July 2nd, describing the prolonged closure as unacceptable and a grave injustice to Nigerian children. Protesters will gather at the FCDA Secretariat in black attire to symbolize mourning for public education. Meanwhile, the Federal Ministry of Education is appealing for dialogue and unity, reaffirming its commitment to teacher welfare. It also clarified that managing local education authority schools falls under the responsibility of area councils. As education and food security hang in the balance, both students and farmers are demanding more than promises. They want immediate government action. Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada, PS News.
PDP ends its 100th NEC meeting in unity, with Saraki declaring no victor, no vanquished, and the party reaffirming Samuel Anyanwu as National Secretary. From the political desk, here's Ella with the report.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has emerged from its historic 100th National Executive Committee meeting with a strong message of unity and reconciliation. Former Senate President and Chairman of the party's Reconciliation Committee, Dr. Bukola Saraki, described the outcome as a turning point, one that could have fractured the party but instead brought members together. In a statement after Monday's meeting in Abuja, Saraki said, "There was no victor, no vanquished. The winner today is the PDP and by extension, Nigerian democracy." He praised party leaders for putting aside personal interests to preserve the PDP's role as Nigeria's leading opposition party. The NEC reaffirmed Senator Samuel Anyanwu as the party's national secretary, ending weeks of speculation and internal tension. PDP's acting national chairman, Ambassador Umar Damagum, said the sole agenda was to review the party's consultations with INEC, and members unanimously backed Anyanwu to continue in his role. Damagum also announced that the PDP's National Convention has been rescheduled to July 23, 2025, promising full compliance with electoral guidelines. Despite recent public disagreements and political tension, the meeting was well attended by PDP governors, former ministers, lawmakers and party elders, including governors Bala Mohammed, Sheyi Makinde, Douye Diri, and former Akwa Ibom governor Udom Emmanuel. Leaders agreed to move past divisions and focus on rebuilding the party ahead of upcoming elections. Saraki called it proof that the PDP can still unite around shared goals, saying the spirit of give and take must now guide the party forward. This is Ella Okechukwu, PS News.
Xiaomi's new electric SUV, the YU7, is making waves in China, but not for the reasons it hoped. Just days after launch, customers are outraged over delivery delays of up to 60 weeks, sparking a storm of complaints and refund demands. Here's Joycelyn on International News.
China's smartphone giant turned EV maker, Xiaomi, is facing consumer backlash after buyers of its new YU7 electric SUV discovered they could be waiting up to 60 weeks, more than a year, for delivery. The YU7, which launched just last Thursday, racked up to 240,000 orders within 18 hours, but only a few units were ready for immediate delivery. By Tuesday, Xiaomi's official's app showed estimated delivery times ranging from 38 to 60 weeks, but only after customers placed orders and paid a non-refundable deposit of 5,000 yuan, nearly $700. More than 400 complaints have already been lodged on a consumer platform, with many customers saying they were not informed about the long wait beforehand. Some also fear they'll miss out on China's EV tax exemption, which ends this year, potentially driving up final cost. Xiaomi has yet to respond officially, but its CEO, Lei Jun, with over 26 million Weibo followers, promised to address concerns in a live stream on Wednesday. The YU7 is Xiaomi's second EV, following the success of the SU7 sedan, which has outsold Tesla's Model 3 in China since December. Still, the company is battling reputational issues, from a fatal crash in March to confusion over vehicles' futures and delivery timelines. Priced at about $35,000, the YU7 undercuts Tesla's Model Y by 4%, and Lei Jun has made it clear Xiaomi is aiming to dethrone Tesla in China's EV market. Joycelyn Ella Keche, Ada, PS News.
And now, on sports, from a Wimbledon showdown to a historic win for Nigeria in beach volleyball and a shock club World Cup exit for Man City, here's a quick recap of the top sports stories making headlines. Sam, from the Sport Desk, brings us all the details.
Day one of Wimbledon served up a thriller as defending champion Carlos Alcaraz survived a 5-set scare against veteran Fabio Fognini. The 21-year-old Spaniard had to dig deep to overcome the 37-year-old Italian in a marathon match that kept fans on the edge of their seats. Fognini, 16 years Alcaraz senior, earned a standing ovation for his brilliant display, proving age is just a number in top-level tennis. Meanwhile, Nigeria is celebrating a historic win in women's beach volleyball. The duo of Esther Mba and Pamela Bauer have qualified for the 2025 World Championship in Adelaide, Australia, after defeating Egypt 2-1 at the African Volleyball Confederation Championship in Morocco. Coach Kayode Ajilore praised the team, discipline and determination, saying they executed the game plan perfectly. In football, Manchester City suffered a shock exit from the Club World Cup, losing 4-3 after extra time to Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal, despite goals from Bernardo Silva, Erling Haaland and Phil Foden. City were undone by a 112th minute winner from Marcos Leonardo. The upset ended Pep Guardiola's hopes of adding another global title to City's trophy haul. This is Samuel Anyanwu for PS News.
You just watched PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube. This is your trusted voice for news that matters. Subscribe, like, share, and stay informed.